YouTube, Facebook. How are we? Good to see y'all as always. Happy Sunday. Happy week 13. Happy December. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Almost Happy New Year. All that good stuff. We are back. Week 13. Q&A, start sits, trade advice, all the sorts. All you got to do, just drop it in the comments and ask away. Hope you guys are doing well. Today, we are doing something a little bit different. We're doing something a little bit different today because not only are we live on Facebook and on YouTube, we're also live on TikTok. So shout out to all of you on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. You're going to see me looking downwards. That's because my phone is right there. TikTok, you're going to see me looking up sometimes because that is Facebook and YouTube. Welcome into the live stream. We are streaming. We are live in this thing. We are going Facebook and YouTube and TikTok. So I apologize if I don't get to all of your questions right away. I will be doing my best to balance it all out. But again, welcome in. Let's get to some start sit questions, some Q&As, all the sorts before kickoff. Chiz, what's up, my guy? Good to see you. Over on TikTok, let's start off with there. Connor asked Breece Hall, Zach Moss, or Devonta Smith. Devontae. Does anyone know if it's Devontae or Devonta? I've heard it said both ways, and I just never known what is the right one. So I've always flip-flopped. But for me though, we are gonna. I personally lean with Devontae Smith on that one. Breece against the Falcons in that kind of offense. I don't want to bet against that. Zach Moss with Tennessee. We're going to go with Devontae Smith. Over on YouTube, John, Rashee Rice or Hollywood Brown at the flex. And for me, this is a Hollywood Brown one. Not a great matchup for Rashee Rice against the Packers. That's for sure. Nick, the Elite Chicken PPR, currently starting the Steelers running backs, Tyree, Calvin Ridley, Tank Dell. I got Mike Evans, the Dolphins running backs, and Purdy on the bench. Should I make a change? I don't think so. I mean, if you want to get ballsy, you could start one of the Dolphins running backs instead of Najee, but Najee has got a great matchup. So I would not say anything there. Beast mode, Tank Dell or Cooper Kupp. And for me, Cooper Kupp going against the Browns. Tank Dell getting Denver. Let's go Tank Dell, honestly. The Rams offense is pretty suspect at this point. Can't really. It sounds weird to say that I trust Tank Dell more, but that's kind of where we are at. Over on TikTok, let's get to some TikTok questions. Shout out to all of you joining on TikTok. All 138 of you. Start three: Gibbs, Bijan, Kyron, or Rachaad White. For me, it is Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, and Rachaad White. As you can see, Facebook and YouTube, you won't see this graphic, but my starts of the week, I've got Bijan and Rachaad White as my starts. And again, starts of the week are just people that I like the most this week. That's all it is. I'm not making any takes about starting or sitting or anything like that. I just like their matchups and I like their situation. That's all that starts of the week really are. So don't read too much into it. Njoku or Laporta, that's still a Sam Laporta one. If you have one of Travis Kelce, Sam Laporta, Trey McBride, even, I would say David Njoku is still behind those guys. But if you're teetering on a like Trey McBride or Evan Ingram, that's a Trey McBride. And then, a player or two after those two would be David Njoku. So Simone on YouTube, Trey McBride is my answer there. Sean on Facebook, Trey McBride or Juwan Johnson. That's still a Trey McBride one for me. I know he's got a tough matchup, but the guy is just getting targets like no tomorrow. So Tyler over on Facebook, Garrett Wilson or Noah Brown. We're going to go with Garrett Wilson on that one. At least with Tim Boyle, he was looking his way against Miami. That's a sign of encouragement for sure. Sports card steals over on YouTube. Chris Olave or Nico Collins. And for me, that one is going, Nico gets Denver. Chris Olave. Olave get who do this? Who did this? Yeah, Detroit. There it is. I'm still gonna go Olave on that one. Over on TikTok, uh, Hollywood Brown or Chris Godwin. That is a Hollywood Brown one for sure. Um, Stroud or Mahomes this week. Still gotta lean the guy Mahomes. Yeah, you still lean Mahomes for sure. Over on Facebook and YouTube, I thank you guys for your patience. This is going to be a lot to balance. So again, much appreciate your patience. Trading over on YouTube, Brees Hall or Ramondre Stevenson. And for me, I mean, they're pretty much the same player this week. I mean, 3, 4, 5 receptions, some work on the ground. New England. Who does New England get? New England has I should know this. I should know this. New England. Why am I blanking? Why am I blanking? Can someone help me out with this? Who is New England playing this week? Why am I blanking on that? This is not a good look for your boy. This is not a good look. I that's embarrassing. I should know that. Actually, let me do this. TikTok, I'm going to move you over just a smidge. Oh, they play the Chargers. Duh. Thank you, Robert. Yeah, thank you. So Ramondre against the Chargers or Brees against the Falcons. It's pretty much the same player. We're gonna go with you probably go let's go Ramondre. Let's see here. Dolph Ziggler back in the chat. You hear that, TikTok? Dolph Ziggler's in our live chat on YouTube. Tua or Jalen Hurts. This is a Jalen Hurts one still. Nickname over on YouTube, Tua or Patty Mahomes. That's a Patty Mahomes still. It's close, but it's Mahomes for me. Michelle on YouTube, Jaden Reed, Curtis Samuel, or Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice has a tough matchup. Jaden Reed has a tough matchup. Curtis Samuel, Commanders going up against the Dolphins. You can probably go Curtis Samuel. I'm going to say Curtis Samuel on that one. If it's not him, then it's Jaden Reed, then it's Rashee Rice. Dubs family, shout out to you. Pat Fryermuth or Trey McBride this week. We're going to go Trey McBride on that one. TikTok, let's get back to you real quick. Tank Dell or Olave. For me, that's a Tank Dell one. Tank Dell is just on fire. Gibbs or Ridley. I'm going to say Ridley on that one. Detroit against the Saints, like, yeah, Gibbs could add in some receiving work for sure, but I think Gibbs is tough from the red zone goal line perspective. Adam over on YouTube, Drake London or Adam Thielen. That's an Adam Thielen one for me. TikTok, Achane or Zach Moss. If you need points, go Zach Moss. But if you can shoot for upside, go with Achane on that one. Laporta or Njoku over on TikTok. And for me, that's still Sam Laporta. Mahomes or Tua on TikTok. That is a Mahomes one for me. Pierce, Damian Pierce or Antonio Gibson. That is a tough draw. Probably going to say Damian Pierce just because he does have a pretty decent matchup against Denver. There's no guarantee that he's actually going to, do well. I mean, it seems like Devin Singletary has now become the lead back, but yeah, we'll lean Damian Pierce on that one. Antonio over on YouTube. Hey guys, help me out. I have Bijan, Kyron, Kamara, and Gibbs. Pick 3, please, in full PPR. For me, that is Bijan, Kamara, and Gibbs. I'm not a huge fan of Kyron this week. Yes, he did just put up 38 points. It sounds weird, but it's just that Cleveland defense is no joke. On TikTok, Brees Hall or James Conner. That's a Brees Hall one still. Achane or Jalen Warren. If you need points, take Jalen Warren. If you want to shoot upside, take Achane. Caleb over on YouTube. Shout out to you, Caleb. Thanks for joining again. So listen, this might sound crazy, but my league is stupid, and every pass completion is 1 point. So Justin Herbert or Sam Howell. Again, it's dumb, but thanks for the help. You bet, Caleb. Anytime. My answer for you is Justin Herbert still. Hank over on Facebook, Scary Terry or Hollywood Brown in PPR. For me, that's a Terry McLaurin one. I think there's just a lot of garbage time scraps for Terry McLaurin this week. Corey over on Facebook, Brock Purdy or Sam Howell. For me, this is a Sam Howell one. I don't mind Brock Purdy this week. I just think Sam Howell has a little bit higher of a ceiling than Brock Purdy. Dakota on Facebook, would you put Tank Dell or Kamara in the flex? Man, that's a great problem to have because those are two great options. If it's PPR, I'm going to say Tank Dell. If it's half PPR or standard, go Alvin Kamara. Colin over on YouTube, Adam Thielen, Pittman or Collins, pick 2. For me, Michael Pittman, who's one of my starts of the week, as on my TikTok graphic there. And we're gonna go Adam Thielen for the other one. On TikTok, Kyron Williams or Zach Moss. This is really the kind of the cutoff for Kyron Williams for me. Not a great matchup for Zach Moss either, but this is probably still a Kyron Williams one for me. But that is close. Twitch, is it Quacker? It's Quackers? Oh, I don't know. Hey, should I play Tua or Herbert? We're going to go Tua on that one. Snazzy Hippo, Achane or Brees Hall. Need points, go Brees Hall. Upside is Devon Achane. Because there's really, Achane is just unpredictable this week. So if you can shoot upside, then take Devon Achane because you've got guaranteed points elsewhere. But if you need points, go Brees Hall. TikTok, Jalen Warren or Devontae Smith. We're going to go Devontae Smith still in PPR, but if it's half PPR, then go Jalen Warren. Thielen or Moss at the flex, that is going to be a Zach Moss one for me. Thielen, Thielen really feels like, kind of this low end wide receiver 2 at this point. Zach Moss at least gives you some touchdown upside. John over on YouTube, Hollywood or Rasheed Rice. That's a Hollywood Brown one for me. TikTok McLaurin or Scary Terry or Cortland Sutton. And that is a Terry McLaurin one for me. Connor Mixon, Achane or Ford, pick 2, I think it was. Is that pick 2? It was pick 2. That one is going to be an Achane and Jerome Ford one for me. James Conner, Joe Mixon, their ceilings are now severely impacted by their situations. And James Conner, I mean, he's still the lead back, but his schedule is just absolutely brutal. Roku, shout out to you. Rasheed Rice, Deontay Johnson, or Cooper Kupp. See, had you asked this like a year or 2 ago, I would say, yeah, Cooper Kupp for sure. But honestly, Cooper Kupp in this Rams offense has been very, very inconsistent. So for me, where are you, Jeff? There you are. That one, I'm gonna say Deontay on that one, honestly. Well, Cooper Kupp probably has the lowest floor out of between him and Deontay Johnson, but he has the highest ceiling. That's probably the best way to say it. Jeff over on Facebook, Jamar Chase, Chris Olave in full PPR. That's a Chris Olave one for sure. Taysom Hill or pick up a different tight end. I don't really mind Taysom Hill this week against Detroit. Detroit hasn't really been great against tight ends on the year as I'm pulling up their points against. Well, I guess they kind of I should say they've been better against tight ends, but Taysom Hill is not your traditional tight end. So I don't mind that at all. TikTok, I did not forget about you. Cooper Kupp or Deebo Samuel for me, that's a Cooper Kupp one. Chuba or Taysom Hill, that's a fascinating one. Carolina against Tampa, not a great matchup, but he gets work. So we're still going to take Chuba Hubbard on that one. Eric over on Facebook, full PPR, Miles Sanders, Samaje Perine, or Tyjae Spears. Oh man. I don't really think there was anything in Samaje Perine performance last week. Miles Sanders, now that Deuce Staley is out of Carolina, I don't know what his role is going to be moving forward. So honestly, kind of by process of elimination, I'm just gonna say Tyjae Spears. Um, Red Falcon Enjoyer. I have two slots and have Olave, Garrett Wilson, and Thielen. Who should I start? For me, that's Olave and Garrett Wilson. Um, it's close between Wilson and Thielen, but I think Wilson at least is. They both get looks between Wilson and Thielen, but the difference for me is we've seen a floor with Thielen where it's like 4 points. Garrett Wilson has only had, I mean, in recent memory, one poor game, and that was against Buffalo with Zach Wilson. So I'm going to go Garrett Wilson on that one. TikTok, back to you. Jordan Love or Derek Carr? I like Derek Carr more than Jordan Love this week. Mixon or Deontay Johnson? That's a Deontay Johnson one for me. Njoku or Ingram? Close, but that's still Evan Ingram, just barely. Should I still start Perry now that Olave is playing? I would not play AT Perry at all this year. Why did that change? Why did my camera change? What the? There we go. There we go. That's better. I don't know why that changed. Let's go back over to YouTube. Tank Dell or Puka Nakua. That's a Tank Dell one. I need a kicker. Oh, we love a good kicker question. Dustin Hopkins or Jake Elliott. For me, that's a Dustin Hopkins one. I'm fairly high on this Cleveland offense this week because Joe Flacco is playing. I think they'll be able to move the ball this week more than they did with DTR. So Roku, you bet, buddy. Appreciate you joining. Michael McCorkle, Jerome Ford, Cooper Kupp, or Josh Downs in the flex. Still gotta lean Cooper Kupp. I mean, it's tough, but yeah, you still gotta lean there. TikTok, over to you. 200 of you watching. Shout out to all of you. Hit that like button for for yourselves, I guess. I don't know. I feel like that's what people say. Just hit the like button. And I know I'm guilty of doing that too, but there are times where people do it a little more unreasonably than reasonably. So I try to make it more reasonable than unreasonably, and that one was pretty unreasonable. So forgive me on that one. Deontay or Cooper Kupp. That one, we're going to go Cooper Kupp on that one. So Kyler or Derek Carr. That's still a Kyler one for me. At least there's a rushing upside for Kyler. Darth Bird. I love that. Love it. Darth Bird on YouTube. Shout out to you. Jerome Ford or Kyron Williams. That's a Kyron Williams one still for me. Michelle. Kicker Dustin Hopkins was my answer for that one. Simone Hollywood or Cooper Kupp. That's still Cooper Kupp. TikTok. Let's see. TikTok. Chris Olave or Calvin Ridley. For me, that's close. That's really, 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 really close. I'm going to say Olave. I know Calvin Ridley has been on a resurgence, but Chris Olave has the matchup at least, right? He still has, Detroit is not doing anything to stop wide receivers, so there's some hope there. Mo the Legend over on YouTube, Achan or Javonte. Javonte against Houston, Achan against Washington. Let's shoot upside. Let's go Achan on that one. Logan Davis on YouTube. Jared Goff or Sam Howell. That's a Sam Howell one for me. TikTok, Brees over Kupp. If it's half PPR, yes. David Njoku, Trey McBride. That's still a Trey McBride one. Barely. It's like Trey McBride, Evan Ingram, and then David Njoku are back to back to back. So Derrick Henry or David Montgomery. For me personally, that's a David Montgomery one. I know that Derrick Henry has a good matchup with Indy, but my worry is that Indy stays ahead and that Derrick Henry just doesn't really have a role in the game. That's where I'm at. That's all I question on TikTok. Olave or Thielen. For me, that is Chris Olave, without a doubt. Ingram or the Muth. Excuse me. That's an Evan Ingram one still for me. Skywalker on YouTube, Deontay Johnson, Devin Singletary. If it's PPR, then we're going to go Deontay Johnson. But if it's half PPR, then we're going to go Devin Singletary. Garrett over on TikTok. I love the emojis. Jalen Warren or Joe Mixon. That's a Jalen Warren one for me. Sport God on YouTube. Justin Watson, Taysom Hill, or Noah Brown in the flex in PPR. Pick one. That's a Noah Brown one for me. That's a Noah Brown. Should I start Tua or Jared Goff? That's a Tua Tagovailoa one for me. TikTok, Achane, Garrett Wilson, Singletary, and Ridley in the flex. That's between Ridley and Achane. Probably going to lean Ridley on that one. Brett over on YouTube, Jared Goff or Justin Herbert. I say Justin Herbert still. King Jakob. Should I start Zach Moss or Mike Evans? Yes, that one's tough because they both don't really have great matchups. I say if it's PPR, go with the receiving upside. If it's PPR, take the receiving upside and go Mike Evans. Quinn over on Facebook, Hollywood or Singletary in a 14 team PPR. Quinn, that league of yours must be just absurd. I'm going to go Hollywood on that one, though. Josh Pittman on YouTube with the McLovin profile picture. Love it. Achane or Brees. That one's a Brees one for me still. Sport God, Noah Brown in your flex. Basketball edits. Is that a Levine? That's Levine's 360 against or in the slam dunk contest. Big Levine guy. Pick 2 in PPR, Eckler, Jahmyr Gibbs, Derrick Henry, Kyron Williams, and Devon Achane. That's a stacked running back room if I've ever seen one. In PPR, though, it's going to be Eckler and it's going to be Jahmyr Gibbs for me since it's PPR. Chris on Facebook, Josh Downs or Noah Brown in PPR. That's a Josh Downs one for me. Is Juwan Johnson a good start? Hawkinson has a bye. I think Juwan Johnson is an acceptable start. I don't know if it's the right start, but I think it's an acceptable start. Brett on YouTube, you bet, buddy. Anytime. Adam, Jared Goff, or Trevor Lawrence. Where are you? Basketball edits. You're welcome. You're welcome. Jared Goff or Trevor Lawrence. For me, I'm gonna say Trevor Lawrence. Don't know what it is about Zay Jones that has made this offense way better, but it's been happening. TikTok, Travis Kelce or George Kittle. It's Travis Kelce still. Bench 1, Montgomery, White, Kyron, or Henry. If we're going to bench one, I'm going to say Kyron. Javonte or Ramondre. We're going to go Ramondre on that one. TikTok, again, Devin Singletary, Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen, probably. Logan on YouTube, pick 2, Olave, Cup, Cooper, or Puka. One of them for sure is Chris Olave. The other, as much as I like Amari Cooper with Joe Flacco, which sounds crazy, but again, I really think Cleveland will be able to move the ball this week with Joe Flacco. As much as I like Amari Cooper, though, I don't know if I can put him over Cooper Kupp. So I'm going to go Olave and Cooper Kupp still. Freiermuth or Trey McBride. That's a Trey McBride one still for me. Trevor Lawrence or Sam Howell. That's a Trevor Lawrence one, just barely though. Caven over on YouTube, Tua or Brock Purdy. That's a Tua Tagovailoa. One of my starts of the week. Sports Fanatics, Rashee Rice or Jaden Reed at the flex. Oh man. That one, I'm gonna say Rashee Rice. Just take the better quarterback, I guess. Joe on Facebook, give defense some love. Let's do it. Pittsburgh or Miami. That's a Miami one for me. Well, actually, no. You know what? No. Sorry, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is the choice there because I forgot that Pittsburgh plays Arizona. Yeah, Pittsburgh. Schumer, Raheem Mostert or Cooper Kupp, full PPR, Cooper Kupp, half PPR, Raheem Mostert. TikTok, ETN or Javonte. ETN as for sure. I know it's been a little rough, but Roy on Facebook, White, Gibbs, Kamara, Pacheco, full PPR, sit 1. For sitting 1, it's probably Isaiah Pacheco. It's probably Isaiah Pacheco. Henry on YouTube, Devin Singletary or James Conner, and Puka or Garrett Wilson. For me, that's a Devin Singletary, and that's a Garrett Wilson. TikTok, Debo or Ayuk. That is Brandon Ayuk. Bro is telling us to play Bijan. No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying at all. My starts of the week are just the players that I love the most this week. You were already starting Bijan. You were already starting Michael Pittman, George Kittle, Tua. You were already starting those guys. I'm just saying these are my favorite players of the week. That's all it really is. And you know, I like Bijan so much as I'm going to do some fancy schmancy camera work. As you can see on Underdog Fantasy, I put on a play with Bijan to go higher than 58.5 rushing yards against the Jets. So all you got to do, just use the code fellas. Use the code fellas to get that line. I like Amari Cooper over on his receptions, receiving yards, all that. And Sam Howell has these gone over. So again, use the code fellas. Underdog Fantasy. Shout out to them. Best way to support us is to support our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Just use the code fellas. And you get a free Mahomes free square. I forgot to say that. New customers on Underdog, you get a Patrick Mahomes free square up until Sunday Night Football for free. Just use the code fellas, and that free square is yours. All right, back to your questions. Had to shameless plug. Always have to shameless plug because that is what we do here. Achane or Ramondre. Points, you go Ramondre. Upside, you go Achane. Tate's over on YouTube, Algier or Jamal Williams in full PPR. Probably going to go Tyler Algier on that one. Soccer edits, Puka or Nico Collins. For me, that's still... we're going to say Puka on that one. We're going to say Puka for that one. Sport God, Noah Brown or Greg Dortch. That's a Noah Brown. Ryan over on Facebook, Taysom Hill or Trey McBride. That's a in half PPR. Taysom Hill. Suns is half PPR. You said Jameer, but you said Derrick Henry is a start this week. What should I do? Well, I should say it like this. That was Lucas that said that. That wasn't me. But I know what you're saying. Just giving you a hard time. I think you have to. I like Jahmyr Gibbs. If we had to choose between the two, if you want points, take Jahmyr Gibbs. If you want to shoot upside, take Derrick Henry, because Derrick Henry has a great matchup, but there's also the potential where he only puts up like 4 or 5 fantasy points because Tennessee doesn't need to run the ball. That dude on YouTube, can I trust Higbee? No, you can't. Ephraim on YouTube, AJ Dillon, Jahan Dotson, or Amari Cooper start 2. That is an AJ Dillon and Amari Cooper one for me. On TikTok, TR824. Thank you for the roses. Thank you very, very much. Whenever I see your question, I will get to it right away. Unless it just came in that massive comment section update. But Josh Downs or DeAndre Swift. That one is a DeAndre Swift one still. Have to. Ashton on YouTube. Should I flex Calvin Ridley or Travis Etienne? Either one of them, I think, is an acceptable flex. If it's half PPR, it's Etienne. If it's full PPR, then you got Calvin Ridley. Ayuk or Tank Dell. For me, that's a Brandon Ayuk one still. Eagles secondary is not really slowing down anybody. And Brandon Ayuk could absolutely feast today. Pat Fryermuth or David Njoku. That is a David Njoku one for me. Roy on Facebook, Puka Cup, Jonathan Mingo, Deontay Johnson. Play 2. I'm going to say Deontay Johnson and Cooper Kupp. Christian on YouTube, Achane or Hall in full PPR. That's a Breece Hall. Siobhan, thank you for the roses. Thank you. You're very, very kind. Mike on TikTok, Breece Hall or Bijan Robinson. That's a Bijan Robinson one for me. Mostert worth starting. Yeah, probably. Yeah, if you can get him in, but you don't need to force him in, I think. Njoku or Kelsey. That's still Travis Kelsey. Yes. TR824. Thank you for another rose. You're too kind. Too kind. Basketball edits. Will Eckler come back? Yes, he will. He will come back. Yes. London, Scary Terry or McLaurin, no PPR. Oh, wait a second. Singletary or McLaurin, no PPR. That's Singletary for me. Back on to TikTok. Matthew Short, Justin Herbert or CJ Stroud. That's a CJ Stroud one for me, just barely. Let's see here. There we go. Bruce, Debo, or Calvin Ridley. That's a Calvin Ridley one for me. Ian over on YouTube, David Montgomery or Calvin Ridley. Half PPR, it's David Montgomery. Full PPR, Calvin Ridley. Basketball edits, you are very, very welcome. Very, very welcome. Excuse me, Journey on TikTok, Mostert or Ridley. That's a Calvin Ridley one for me. Purdy or CJ Stroud. That's a CJ Stroud one for me. Cooper Kupp or Jalen Waddle. That's a Jalen Waddle one for me. Moser or Montgomery. That's a David Montgomery one for me. Phantom on YouTube, Achane or Singletary. That's a Devon Achane one. Patrick on YouTube, half PPR, Amari Cooper or Taysom Hill at my flex. Thank you. You are very welcome. And I'm going to say Amari Cooper still on that one. All-Star Alex, Kyler, Baker, Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr, but the right answer is Kyler Murray still. Jason on Facebook, should I start Achane today? Can't decide. I think if you can, you should, but you don't need to force him into your lineup. If you, yeah, and what I've also been saying too, if you can shoot for upside, go Achane. But if you need points, he's probably not your best option this week. Sport God, Noah Brown or Jerry Jeudy. That's over on YouTube. For me, that's a Noah Brown one. Ezra on YouTube, AJ Brown or Julio Jones. I'm worried Julio will take over as a wide receiver one on the Eagles. You know what I'm really worried about? I'm really worried that Megatron is going to come out of retirement and start playing for the Eagles. I'm kidding. That's AJ Brown, yes. Kevin on Facebook, Devontae Parker or A.T. Perry and PPR. A.T. Perry, probably. Over on the TikTok, Kirk or Ridley. Christian Kirk or Calvin Ridley. That's a Calvin Ridley one for sure. Noah Brown or Romeo Dobbs. That's a Noah Brown one for me as well. Soccer edits on YouTube. Devin Singletary, Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson for sure. Sit 2 from Anthony on Facebook in half PPR. Pittman, Devontae Smith, Nico Collins, Puka, or Cooper Kupp. For me, the 2 that we're sitting, Nico Collins and Puka Nacua. Those are the 2 that we're sitting. Montgomery or Breece Hall on TikTok. That one, if it's PPR, you're going to go Breece, but if it's half PPR, go David Montgomery. There we go. TR824, there's your question. Found it. Trey McBride or Johnson. That's a Trey McBride one for sure. Terry McLaurin or Puka Nacua on Facebook. TikTok as well. That's a Terry McLaurin one. Bijan or Gibbs on TikTok. We are going to go with Bijan Robinson, one of my starts of the week. Soccer edits on YouTube. You're very, very welcome. Sport God, Taysom Hill or George Kittle. George Kittle for that one. Watrick Weverly. Awesome. Bijan Pacheco or David Montgomery. We're going to go Bijan and David Montgomery on that one. TikTok, coming back to you now. Why is Carr start of the week? It's not necessarily the start of the week, but going up against Detroit, let me just read this off for you. Over the last 4 weeks, Detroit has allowed the second most fantasy points to the quarterback position. Over the last 2 weeks, they're allowing the third most, and on the year, they are allowing the fifth most. They're not really slowing anybody down through the air. And while they're not giving up a ton of yards, they do give up quite a bit. They do. The weakness of that Detroit team is their secondary. Derek Carr can take advantage of that with Chris Olave. Sam Laporta or George Kittle. That's a Sam Laporta one for me. Philly over on Facebook, running back need 2. James Conner, Montgomery, or Achane. For me, that's a Monty and an Achane. For that, those would be the 2 for me. Achane or Breece Hall. We're still going to go Breece Hall on that one. On TikTok, how do you feel about Jordan Love this week? I think he's like a fringe quarterback one. Kansas City is a tough matchup. Tough matchup. So it's not the best, but it's he's been playing better. That puts him in that like 13, 14, 15 range. So like fringe quarterback 1. Rachaad White, if you think you are clowning me about saying that Rachaad White is a start, let me just do this real quick. Over. Let me find this. I mean, let me just say Rachaad White, running back 7 on the year. So I hope you're not clowning me because that's just pretty self-explanatory. I'm just saying that he's got a great matchup this week, and he's one of my favorite plays of the week. That's all it really is. I'm not giving advice for you're starting Rachaad White anyway. All right. TikTok, Thielen or Christian Kirk. That's an Adam Thielen one for me. Calvin Ridley or Jamar Chase. That's a Calvin Ridley one. Start of the week. One of my best plays of the week. I guess over the last 6 weeks, Rachaad White has finished no lower than the running back 19. So I don't know really if you guys, if that's you can clown me for that. I've been putting up points. Brett over on YouTube, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, full PPR. That's a Tank Dell one for sure. Brian on Facebook, Chris Olave, Christian Kirk, Hollywood Brown, full PPR pick 2. That's a Chris Olave and a Hollywood Brown for me. Kevin on Facebook, Tank Dell, Mostert, Mike Evans, Devontae Smith, start 2 in PPR. Tank Dell and Devontae Smith. Over on TikTok, Ingram or Njoku. That's still an Evan Ingram one. It's close. Bijan or Rashad. Both. If you can get both, do both. Jaden Reed or Puka. Still Puka on that one. Falcons or Jets defense. Or just winner of the game, I guess. I think the defense to have is Atlanta's defense, but I shouldn't say but. Atlanta wins that game, in my opinion. Tua or Stroud. That one for me is close, but it is Tua. Calvin Ridley, Garrett Wilson, or Jalen Waddle over on YouTube. And for me, that is a Calvin Ridley one. Brian over on Facebook. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Juan, what's up, bro? Puka or Deontay Johnson? For me, that's a Deontay Johnson one. Good to see you again, Juan. Appreciate you joining. Michael over on YouTube, Singletary or Rashee Rice. That's a Devin Singletary one for me. On TikTok, Cortland Sutton or Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle still. Stroud or Mahomes. Still got to ride with Mahomes. Moss or Pacheco. This is a great question. It's Isaiah Pacheco. Very, very great, good question there. Pacheco or Rachaad White. That's a Rachaad White still for me. Cooper Kupp, Rashee Rice, or Amari Cooper. Pick 2.5 PPR. That's Cooper Kupp and Amari Cooper. Takuma on YouTube, Zach Moss, Isaiah Pacheco, or Devontae Smith. Start 2. We're going to go Devontae Smith and Isaiah Pacheco. Josh on Facebook, Monty or Najee Harris. That's David Montgomery for me. Carrie over on YouTube, AJ Brown or Tank Dell. AJ Brown still. AJ Brown. No, Tank Dell has been great, but AJ Brown still. Carter over on YouTube, Noah Brown, A.T. Perry, or Tyler Algier. That's a Noah Brown one for me. Billy on Facebook, sorry, my guy, but I forgot to add Derrick Henry, Monty, Connor, or Achane. Need to. Sucks having this. Oh, that changes things a little bit. Monty is still one for sure. But Philly, I think my answer would be, who do you think has the higher ceiling between Derrick Henry and Devon Achane? Because I think they can both disappoint this week because we don't know what role like Achane could have this week. It sounds like he should be okay, but I think you go Derrick Henry. on that one. Rashee Rice or Hollywood Brown on Facebook. We're going to go Hollywood Brown on that one. Is it Gills? I'm sorry, I botched your name, but Hollywood Brown. Brandy over on YouTube, Smith, Ridley, or Dell pick 2. For me, that is Calvin Ridley, and that is Tank Dell. John on YouTube, Calvin Ridley or Devontae Smith, start one. That's a Calvin Ridley one for me. Wilson or McLaurin over on TikTok. We're going to go Terry McLaurin on that one. Njoku or Kittle. Oh, either or. That's a George Kittle one for me. John on Facebook, Achan or Mostert. On it, I just flip a coin on it. I mean that in the nicest way possible. Like, flip a coin, honestly. You can't really go wrong with either. Phil on Facebook, Tank Dell or Monty in the flex in full PPR. You're going to go Tank Dell in half PPR or standard. It is going to be David Montgomery. On TikTok, in just a second, Philly, sounds fair. Thanks. You bet. Anytime. Oh, Gil, I get it now. Hollywood or Nico. That's still Hollywood Brown for me. New York Giants fan, Cortland Sutton or Cooper Kupp. That's a Cooper Kupp one still. TikTok, back to you. David Njoku or T. Higgins. Probably David Njoku, honestly. Achan or DeAndre Swift. I'm going to say DeAndre Swift. Rashee Rice or Christian Watson. Rashee Rice, probably. Yeah. TikTok, Singletary or Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen. Ridley or Zach Moss. That's a Calvin Ridley one for me. Nico or Zach Moss in the flex. That's a Zach Moss in the flex. Brees or Jalen Warren. That's still a Brees Hall one. Njoku or Kittle. Still, that one is Kittle. Two of my starts of the week at tight end, but Kittle gets the nod there. Mordenheim on YouTube, Devin Singletary or Nico in half PPR, Devin Singletary. Carrie over on YouTube, Kyler Murray or Jordan Love. That one's a Kyler Murray one for me. DeAndre Swift or Jalen Warren over on TikTok. That is close. Oh, the playoff is out. College playoff is out. Who made it? As I'm pulling up the tweet, who made it? Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Alabama are your 4 college football playoff teams. No Georgia, no Florida State, no Ohio State, which I think it was kind of crazy that Ohio State, just because they lost to Michigan, they were immediately out of consideration, but they're out as well. That's crazy. I feel like that's the right answer, but Georgia's not going to be happy. Carter on YouTube, back to fantasy football and NFL football. My bad. Didn't hear you? Noah Brown, Perry, or Algier. That is Noah Brown. Kips Productions, Tank Dell, Olave, Calvin Ridley, Cooper Kupp, or Jaden Reed. Whoa, need to. Whoa. For me, we're gonna go Calvin Ridley and Chris Olave. I don't mind. It's really between Tank Dell, Olave, and Ridley. I like Ridley. He's one of my starts of the week. Yeah, Ridley and Olave. Over on TikTok, real quick, actually, though, Michael on YouTube, was it a mistake dropping Adam Thielen? I don't think so. I don't know if Adam Thielen is really going to make a difference on a fantasy team for the rest of the year. I think that's really what it comes down to. TikTok, Pittman or Mike Evans. Michael, excuse me. Michael Pittman, one of my starts of the week. Taysom Hill, Pat Freiermuth. We're going to go Pat Freiermuth on that one. Puka or Cooper Kupp. I'm going to go Cooper Kupp on that one. Flex spot, Puka, Rice, Wilson, or Hollywood? Garrett Wilson. TikTok, Curtis Samuel or Amari Cooper? Amari Cooper on that one. Taysom Hill, Laporta, or Evan Ingram. That's a Sam Laporta one. Tua or CJ Stroud. That's a Tua one for me. Tank Dell or Josh Downs. That's Tank Dell. TikTok, Brees Hall or Brandon Ayuk. We're going to Brandon Ayuk. Let's see. Back over to Facebook. Carl asks Colts defense or Tampa. What you think? Well, Indy gets Tennessee. Tampa gets Carolina. I like Tampa's matchup a little bit better. Brett on YouTube. Better yet, can we simply stream every week the defense against New England and Carolina the rest of the year? Absolutely. Absolutely can. I don't know if that's going to work out every week, but I like the logic. The logic certainly checks out. Gil on Facebook, Rashee Rice or Deontay Johnson struggling in this one. Played DJ last week and Rice went off. Yeah, I don't know if Rice is going to go off again this week though. So we're gonna go with Deontay Johnson on that one. Kyler Murray, Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr, but I don't like him more than Kyler Murray this week. So we're gonna go Kyler for that one. TikTok, Derek Carr or Trevor Lawrence. As much as I like Derek Carr, I feel like maybe the best way to say it is this: if you're trying to decide between, a Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Derek Carr would be your guy, but like a Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, you're still going to go those guys over Derek Carr. Riley Productions, Debo or Ayuk. That's a Brandon Ayuk one for me. Cheers to my mic stand. Holy cow. Cheers. Matthew on Facebook, Devin Singletary, Joe Mixon, Adam Thielen, Brian Robinson need to. Probably Adam Thielen and Devin Singletary. Over on to TikTok. Let's see, it's 11:30. We got about 20 more minutes. Okay. Mahomes or Lamar? Well, Lamar is on bye, so we got to go Mahomes. Fryermuth or Taysom Hill? That's a Pat Fryermuth one for me. Excuse me. Matthew, that's what I was thinking. Thank you. Anytime, pal. Bennett over on YouTube, Christian Watson or Jaden Reed or Romeo Doubs or Noah Brown. And I like Noah Brown over all three of those Packers receivers. Astro on YouTube, James Conner or AJ Dillon in PPR. No Aaron Jones. Man. Probably AJ Dillon. TikTok, Nico Collins versus Garrett Wilson in PPR. The latter. Njoku or Kittle in half PPR. That's George Kittle still. Derrick Henry or Breece Hall. I still lean Breece Hall. I don't think you can really go wrong, though, with those. Yeah. Achane or Cup in the flex. Let's go upside. Let's go Achane on that one. Why David Njoku? Well, my friend. Don't mind me just looking around the screen because I got to pull up stats. David Njoku has been doing very, very, I shouldn't say good, but he's been doing very well lately. Over, the last, he's had 4 finishes inside the top 8 tight ends in his last 5 weeks. He's had double-digit fantasy points in 6 straight games. Yeah. And now he gets Joe Flacco, who's a much more competent passer. YouTube, Tank Dell or Chris Olave. I already have Tyreek in my lineup. Also, should I play Achane, Breece Hall, or Kyren as a flex? I currently have Etienne and Bijan in my running back spots. Honestly, I would go Tank Dell and Chris Olave. That's my personal leaning, is I would go Tank Dell in my wide receiver and Olave in my flex. That's how I would do it. Let's see. Mikey on YouTube, Gibbs, Monty, Achane, or Jalen Warren. For me, that is a Monty for me, because I'm forever and always treasure that man, David Montgomery. Leighton on YouTube, Breece Hall, Zach Moss. That's still Breece Hall. Andrew on Facebook, Garrett Wilson or Adam Thielen at the flex. We're going to go with Garrett Wilson. Someone gifted something over on TikTok. Breezy, thank you for the rose. As soon as I see your question, I will answer it. Anytime scorer. Ooh, anytime scorer. I will get back to that question because I just saw Breezy's question. Achane or Swift? We're gonna go DeAndre Swift still on that one. Another rose was given from Kundari. Shout out to you. And as soon as I see your question, back to the anytime touchdown score today, I'm going to say Travis Kelce. I'm going to say Travis Kelce. Michael Pittman or Amon-Ra. You still go Amon-Ra. Top 5 guy rest of the season. Chance on Facebook picked 2, Kamara, Gibbs, or Kyren in half PPR. That's Kamara and Gibbs. Charleston, thank you for the high bear. As soon as I see your question, I will answer it. But Kyren or Brian Robinson, you're still going to go Kyren on that one. Zach Moss or Achane. Upside, shoot upside. You can go Achane, but if you need points, Zach Moss. Kundari, I saw your question. Achane or Joe Mixon. We're going to go Devon Achane on that one. Tyler Higbee or Brevin Jordan. Oof. We're gonna go Tyler Higbee on that one. Brees or Achane and PPR. We're still gonna go Brees. Astro on YouTube. Cortland Sutton or Puka in PPR. I'm gonna go Puka. Maybe, yeah, Puka. Insiders on game day. Sorry, TikTok. Wow, so Dalvin Cook is going to get more touches today, apparently. Top picks on Underdog already did a 5-man all touchdowns. Who do you think will score? Well, I think all the 5 guys that you picked will score. But don't mind the shameless plug right here of Underdog Fantasy. Okay. As I'm switching backgrounds around, I like Sam Howell on his passing attempts this week. He's gone to over 40 in his last 3 games. He's going to be playing from behind against Miami today. Mari Cooper on his receiving yards. Joe Flacco, I think, is a more competent passer than DTR, which gives Amari Cooper some relevance today. Bijan Robinson, rushing yards. Going up against the Jets. And since Bijan's now the featured back, why not? So, as always, new customers on Underdog, you get a free square when you use the code FELLAS, FELLAS. You get your first deposit matched, but you get that Patrick Mahomes free square. So if you tail me on my 3 picks, right? Mari Cooper, Sam Howell, Bijan Robinson, you tail me on those 3, you add on Patrick Mahomes, 10 times your money. Just like that. So all you got to do, use the code FELLAS over on Underdog Fantasy. And that free square is yours. And again, I will always say this, best way to support us, if you enjoy the content that we do here, where we go live every Sunday, we post videos every single day. We also post minute-long shorts every single day on all of our social platforms. This is your place for fantasy football and football. So the best way to support us is to support our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Back to more start-sit questions. We'll go for about 5 more minutes. Maybe 10. We'll go 5 to 10 more minutes. And I'll turn you loose to go make those changes into your lines before kickoff. So David Montgomery or Nico Collins over on TikTok. That's a David Montgomery one. Let me pull up some more comments on YouTube. Kips asked, Monty, Moss, Singletary, Brees need 3. Everyone besides Devin Singletary. Oh boy, there we go. Michael, solid starting lineup. Stroud, Mostert, Kyren, CD, Amon-Ra, Debo, Olave, Laporta. Yes. Yep. That's a very solid lineup. Kips, yeah. Monty, Moss, Singletary, or Brees. Pick 3. Monty, Moss, and Brees Hall. Austin on YouTube, Hollywood Brown or Deontay Johnson. That one is a Deontay Johnson one. That's a Deontay Johnson one for me. Nick on YouTube, Devin Singletary or Jamal Williams, I think. Yeah. Devin Singletary. Young Crumbs, thank you for the rose. As soon as I see your question, I'll get to it. Need your help, Downs, McLaurin, or Singletary. That's a Terry McLaurin one for me. Adam Thielen or Jalen Waddle. That is Jalen Waddle. Astro on YouTube, Evan Ingram or Pat Fryermuth. That's Pat Fryer. No, sorry. Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram. Calvin Ridley or Zach Moss at the flex. That is a Calvin Ridley one for me. Hi, Cameron. Good to see you. I hope you're feeling better today. Hey, bro, Kyron or Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco. I said Isaiah Pacheco. Jacob over on Facebook, Puka or Brian Robinson in PPR. Yeah, it's still Puka on that one. Cooper Cup or sorry, Amari Cooper or Drake London. And that is an Amari Cooper one. I'm a big fan of Amari Cooper this week. Big fan of Amari Cooper this week. Sam Howell or Jordan Love. That's a Sam Howell one for me. James over on Facebook, Jaden Reed, Deontay Johnson, and Brees must pick a wide receiver and a flex. I think your wide receiver is Deontay Johnson and your flex is Brees Hall then. Josh on Facebook, how you feel about Kyra now? Last week you picked Gibson all rest of the season. So I just need to say, my worry for Kyron is he really going to average 9 yards a carry every single game? And is he going to have 2 receiving touchdowns every single game? So we know the ceiling that he has, but he also has he's got some really tough matchups ahead. So I think rest of season, there's still hope, but last week was not a good start. I will be the first to admit that. That was not a great start, but I think rest of season, there's still hope. Derek on Facebook, Marquise Brown, Josh Downs, or T. Higgins at the flex. Leaning Brown, I would as well. Your next option would be Josh Downs. TikTok, Pittman or Moss in the flex. That is a Michael Pittman one for sure. Godwin or Noah Brown. For me, that's a Noah Brown. Noah Brown. Crossfire on YouTube. Start to Cup, Puka, Calvin Ridley. For me, that's Calvin Ridley and Cooper Cup. Excuse me. Bryce on Facebook, Bijan or ETN, Bijan Robinson. Colin, Moss, ETN, or Montgomery. Pick 2. And for me, that's ETN and David Montgomery. Seattle. Shout out to Seattle. Shout out to you, Seattle. Pat Mahomes with CJ Stroud. That's Pat Mahomes one for sure. Frank on Facebook, Herbert or Carr reigning in New England. That makes a difference. But I still lean Justin Herbert. Roku, welcome back. George Kittle or Sam Laporta or both. I don't really recommend starting 2 tight ends in your lineup if you can avoid it. So I'll say Sam Laporta. Nick on YouTube, Devin Singletary, Javonte Williams. Probably Devin Singletary. Maybe Javonte Williams. Coin flip. That's a coin flip one. Let me do this. I got you. Tails. Javonte Williams. That's a Javonte Williams. Lamar to go. Kyler or Justin Herbert. Close, but it's raining in New England apparently, so we're going to go Kyler Murray. Over on TikTok, Tua or CJ Stroud. It's close, but I lean Tua. Jamar Chase or Calvin Ridley. That's a Calvin Ridley one for sure. Bryce on Facebook, ETN or AJ Dillon. Still Travis Etienne. Let's see here. Kayvon, I like it. Pick 1 to flex. Achane, Jamar, or Tank Dell. Also Brees Hall or Achane for the running back. In the flex, Tank Dell, running back, Brees Hall. TikTok, Mr. Nacho plays Kyron or Jahmyr Gibbs. That's a Jahmyr Gibbs one. Seattle got one more question. Achane or Mike Evans. Shoot the upside. Let's go Achane on that one. TikTok, Hopkins or Devontae Smith. Tank Dell or Brandon Ayuk. I like both. I really like both. But I like Brandon Ayuk just a little bit more. Raheem Mostert or Devin Singletary. Raheem Mostert. Kyle on Facebook, play 3. Kittle, injured McBride, Ridley, Cooper Kupp, or Thielen. For me, George Kittle, Calvin Ridley, Cooper Kupp. Yeah. I saw a question on there on TikTok. Start Matt Stafford or Taysom Hill? Superflex? I'm assuming that's a superflex then. I'm going to say Matt Stafford. Dom with the roses. Thank you very much, Dom. Pickett, Browning, or Joe Flacco? I'm going to say Kenny Pickett. Sebastian. Wow. I thought about trying to say your last name, but I'm going to do such a disservice. So I'm just going to say, I'm just going to refer to you as Sebastian. Again, it would be embarrassing. Start two, Najee, Brees, Wilson, or Deontay Johnson. For me, that's Wilson. That is Brees Hall and Garrett Wills. No, Brees Hall and Brees and Deontay Johnson. Sorry, had to think on that one for a second. Dom, there's your question. Devin Singletary or T. Higgins? We're going to go Devin Singletary. TikTok, Thielen or D Hop in the flex? Probably Thielen. Tank Dell or Adam Thielen? Adam Thielen. Do I start Olave? Yes, you should. Opinion on Downs? I think he's a solid start this week. I think he's a fine start. I think he's more of a flex than anything, but Matthew, thank you for the rose. Much appreciated. Warren or Cooper Kupp? That's still Cooper Kupp for me. Crossfire, Noah Brown or Jerome Ford at the flex. That's Jerome Ford for me. Alex Bailey, Bijan or ETN. That is ETN. Chiz, Laporta or Fryermuth. We're going to go with Sam Laporta. We love a good kicker question too. Chiz, Brandon McManus or Dustin Hopkins at kicker. We're going to go Dustin Hopkins. Gibbs or Kyron over on TikTok. I'm going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs. Achane or Cooper Kupp. If you need points, go Cooper Kupp. If you want to shoot upside, go Achane. Scary Cyclops, start two. James Conner, Ramondre Stevenson, or Kyron Williams. That is a Ramondre and Kyron Williams one. Kyle, thank you for, what was it? I saw your gift. Was it a lightning bolt? Something like that. Aiden, thank you for the rose. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the gifts too. Dolph Ziggler, Tank Dell, or Deebo Samuel. That's a Tank Dell one for me. Trevor Lawrence or Kyler Murray. That is a Kyler Murray one for me. Mike on TikTok, Bijan or Gibbs. That is a Bijan Robinson one for me. One of my starts of the week. And one last shameless plug. I like Bijan Robinson so much that I actually put him in a play over on Underdog Fantasy. I took his over on his rushing yards against the Jets. I also paired it up with Amari Cooper on his receiving yards and Sam Howell on his passing attempts. 6 times my entry with that if that all hits. New customers, though, you can 10 times that. You can 10 times that because if you use the code fellas, you get a new customer special. You get a Patrick Mahomes free square for free. Just use the code fellas, pair that up with any picks. 3 times, 6 times your entry, 4, 10 times, 5, 20 times your entry, just like that. So again, use the code fellas. And again, shameless plug to follow us on all of our platforms, on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, on the X, on what is formerly Twitter, all of that. This is your place for football, fantasy football, everything football related. So go ahead and drop us a follow. We are live on kickoff before every kickoff. We post videos every single day. We have podcast episodes that come out Tuesday and Thursday. We release videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday. There won't be a Friday video, if I'm not mistaken, because the fellas will be traveling. But again, all plays football, all plays fantasy football. We are coming up towards the end of college football season. Before we know it, it'll be the end of the NFL season. So then we look ahead to free agency, to trades, to the NFL draft, which is my little baby, is the NFL draft. So you like draft coverage, you like draft content. This is your place for that too. So again, let's go 5 more minutes. Rapid fire. Okay. Rapid fire. Just answering as many questions as we can. Then I'll turn you loose to make those changes into your lineup. So starting on YouTube, Ben asked Curtis Samuel, Jameson Williams, or Adam Thielen. That's an Adam Thielen one for me. Tracer Sports on YouTube. Boomer Bust of the week. My boom of the week is Rashad White. And my bust of the week is DeAndre Hopkins. So Vince, Hopkins or Thielen, I'm going to go Adam Thielen. Over on TikTok, T. Higgins or Puka, we're still going to go Puka. Tank Dell or Brandon Ayuk. I still like Brandon Ayuk just a little bit more. Yeah. Terrell on Facebook, Noah Brown or Cooper Kupp. That's still Cooper Kupp. Vince, thank you, bro. You are very, very welcome. TikTok, Javonte or Achane. points, go Javonte, upside with Achane. Andrew on YouTube, Russell Wilson or Jordan Love. And for me, Russell Wilson against Houston, Jordan Love against Kansas City. I'm going to say Russell Wilson. GLP solos, Zach Moss or David Montgomery. That's a David Montgomery one. How you feeling about Achane? Sounds like McDaniel said he looks good to go without restrictions. It's optimistic. But I need to see a game. Scary Cyclops are 2. Adam Thielen, Mike Evans, Calvin Ridley. For me, that is Calvin Ridley and Mike Evans. Adam on Facebook, Samuel, Debo Samuel, Josh Reynolds, or Zay Jones. That's Curtis Samuel. That would be a Curtis Samuel. For me, that's still Curtis Samuel. TikTok, Puka or Nico. For me, that is Nico Collins. Connor on YouTube, Olave or Ayuk, please and thank you. I don't mind. I like Olave this week, but I also like Brandon Ayuk, and that's where I lean. Adam, yeah, Curtis Samuel, that would be my answer. Sorry. I don't know why my mic went on mute. That's kind of strange. That's suspicious. Thoughts on Joe Flacco being the starter? I think that takes David Njoku and Amari Cooper up another level. I think they're able to move the ball now. They were not. I just don't think like DTR was the right choice for them. Josh Newborn, Hopkins or Sanders at kicker. We're gonna go with Dustin Hopkins. TikTok. Let's do this. Achane or Breece Hall. We're going to go Breece Hall on that one. Lucas, shout out to you, Lucas. Hope your live was good over on Fantasy Pros. You can catch him, I think, is it every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks over on the Fantasy Pros TikTok account doing the lives just like this. Lab 39, wow, 8, not 10, 12, 15, 13. That's a 13. Wow. Got real greedy there. Thank you for the roses. Thank you very, very, very much. And what is that? That looks cool. Lab sent the chili and the lightning. Man, thank you. Thank you for all of that. Scary Cyclops, thank you so much, bro. You're welcome. Let me get to some more of your guys' questions, and then I will turn you loose. Chris on Facebook, Thielen or Mixon. That's a Adam Thielen one for me. Jasper, Jordan, Rashee Rice, or Mike Evans. We're going to go Mike Evans on that one. Seriously, all of you guys on TikTok sending all those gifts and all that stuff, y'all are one of a kind. Hand hearts to all of you. Okay, couple more questions and then I'll turn you loose. Kareem Hunt or Zay Jones? We're going to go Kareem Hunt. Thielen, yes, correct. Did Cincinnati sign Cam Newton? No. Hard hands again. Arias, Josh Downs, or Adam Thielen. We're going to go Adam Thielen. Javonte or Achane. We're going to go with Achane on that one. And the last one here, Tank Dell or Calvin Ridley? Great question, Eileen. Calvin Ridley. All right, y'all. I'm going to turn you loose. Go make those changes to your lineup 7 minutes before kickoff, so act on it quick. You guys are the best, honestly. Thank you for your patience today between TikTok right here, Facebook, YouTube, streaming on 3 different platforms. Going live on 3 different platforms is a lot. So thank you for your patience. Thanks for joining me. You can join us every single week. Crunchy Cool, please have to sit one Breece Hall, David Montgomery, Zach Moss, and Bijan. Who do I say? You said Zach Moss, but last one, Richard, Kirk or Swift. We're gonna go Swift. All right. Again, y'all, you guys make this super, super fun. I enjoy doing this because you guys are the best. So, Phil, Crunchy, you're very, very welcome. Phil, you guys are awesome. Appreciate you guys. And again, we're live every single Sunday before kickoff. We post videos every single day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, podcast episodes Tuesday, Thursday. We're right around the, fantasy playoffs right around the corner. So if you're looking for any kind of advice when it comes to that, because we need points and we need wins at this point in the season, Richard, you're the best. Thank you guys. Again, if you need, we're here for you every step of the way in fantasy playoffs. So again, make sure you're following us, TikTok, Instagram. I think TikTok Fantasy Football Fellas, Instagram the FF Fellas, Twitter FF Fellas. Yeah, it's right in front of me. And YouTube, Facebook Fantasy Football Fellas as well. So again, thank you for joining you guys today. We'll see you next week. Best of luck in week 13. Bipocalypse is about to come to an end. All the best to you guys this week. We'll see you later.